Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raw and Wild Hearts podcast. I'm your host, Lori Rising, and welcome to today's episode, which is called Innate Human Truths. I am so excited to be here with you. I feel like I've kind of been in like this land out of time through the Cancer season. So if you are tuning in right now, you know that we are moving into the hot and bright Leo season, and I have felt a very distinct energy shift from yesterday to today. And it feels good. It feels expansive. It feels external. I feel this resurgence in the desire and passion to reconnect publicly, physically, externally. I mean, that Cancer season was no joke. Am I right? Like, it went real deep. It went real internal. And that is the signature of Cancer energy. But I also just felt this almost burning fire in the full feeling condition, right? It's like we were being invited into the depths of what we can feel without even sometimes the conscious knowledge of what we were feeling. And I kept noticing that I would have to bring myself back to center because my action orientation or my physicality kept wanting to produce for my business, for my life, for my timeline. And it just never lined up. For example, I tried to record this podcast a couple times yesterday, and the energy just was not there. It was almost like a flat line, and I had no excitement about what I was sharing. It felt just like mundane. And so I had to let it go. I had to let go of the hold on the time I had invested, on what I had even produced, and just let it go into the ethers and begin again. So it's almost like a smaller version of the deaths and rebirths of ourselves, right? And so giving ourselves that space to rebirth, redo, reignite, restart something in a new energy, I feel like is like a level towards mastery that we're moving in. You know, the mastery of how we can live in this humanness as the multidimensional beings, as the fluid, flowing, adaptable humans that we were meant to be. And so that really comes down to flowing with especially the astrological energies that come through, because they are really dynamic and they're different, and they always lead us to something bigger from where we've been. It's always inherently supportive of the divine flow of energy that we're meant to experience. And also, I'm wildly appreciative of this energy shift. I mean, we're really activating the beautiful Lionsgate portal that happens when the spiritual sun, which is the star Sirius, and our planetary sun are at their brightest and come into alignment, which produces this really beautiful light portal of messages, downloads, light codes for our cellular recoding and our DNA activation. But of course, we need to be in a space where we have receptivity within those cells and that DNA. And I feel like the Cancer season gives us this opportunity of a deeper emotional landscape and intuition of what needs to shift and transform so that we have new space in our cells for the integration of all of the light messages that are coming through. I love this portal. And honestly, after the summer solstice Stargate portal, I feel like we are astrologically on fire right now. And we're moving into some really beautiful planetary aspects with the Leo new moon coming this week. So I feel the energies accelerating and revving up, getting brighter, more passionate, more playful, and external, which is, of course, the divine unfolding. So if you are new here, welcome. I'm so stoked that you found us, and do make sure to check out my library of episodes because I have some of the most profound guests drop in all kinds of soul bomb wisdom up in this house. They are all timeless. Make sure you check it out. And if you are a longtime listener, full gratitude and appreciation for you being here in this wild heart revolution and human evolution as we continue to elevate the light and energy every time we drop in and exchange together so that we can emanate it up into the collective and the grid. This is how we change the systems from a new place of human mastery. I keep getting the message from my guides and star beings that the quicker we shift our belief system around how change happens, the more quantum the change will go down. Because what we've been doing for thousands of years is we've been staying in the systems that just continue to grow while keeping us held in limitations. So we've been kind of, if you imagine it being a hamster wheel, right? We're like running around this hamster wheel in the ways that the system has created to seem like change is possible, but in actuality has a very rigid structure that keeps us in that loop of ultimate powerlessness. And the reality is that when the belief system shifts, when we actually get a higher vantage point to get a clear view of the system, including the polarization, the duality, the disempowerment, the imbalance, the greed, you know what I'm saying, we're like, whoa, it cannot change from within. But we've been staying within the rules and structure of it to try to make change and literally banging our heads against the wall, creating dis-ease, stress, disillusionment, hopelessness, anger, frustration, when we could be, should be, and absolutely will be in our full creation energy from a high frequency, from a love frequency, from a light acceleration and mastery. That is when we will get to experience all of the majesty, the magic, and the innate potential that we came here with in our integrative experience, right? In our infinite light, in our soul, in our energy, in our physical body. It's wildly exciting. And I just get so pumped and jazzed at where we're going and what we're opening up to for our intimacy, authenticity, vulnerability in our full, glorious emotionality, which includes the shadow work, the wound work, the trauma transformation, the karma. It's big, and I just continue to hold full gratitude for the ability to be here, to tap in, to have the skills in alignment so that I get to witness, experience, and be a full-on participant as a light line holder, as a grid keeper, as a light master, as a guide into what's available to us through the universe, source energy, the planets, earth, nature, our physicality, our bodies, our cells. I mean, it's just, y'all, it's huge. So thank you for being here with me. And thank you for being a light line holder and a light master, for doing the hard ass work of humaning in soul growth, spiritual growth, in the light revolution that is happening on the planet. Because this is our full invitation into co-creative energy as the veil continues to thin with every one of these astrological events and portals, into healing our lineage and intergenerational trauma, into healing parallel lives, karmic wounds, birth wounds, trauma. It's how we heal our collective and communities for generations to come. We are making history right now. This will be learned in the history, quote unquote, books. I don't know if it's going to be books in our new systems, so TBD. Okay, If you are getting support and guidance through this show and this mission, I would so love your star rating, your review, comments. I mean, if you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, share your favorite episode with one or two people, or share the whole show with your whole dang collective. Any way you feel called to support this show or my mission really does help me to continue producing this podcast, some meditations, and even some of my masterminds for free. Now, that being said, I also have many paid offerings because y'all know we do live in a world with the construct of money, and I like to go so deep with you if you are digging my vibe and the frequency and the trauma-informed healing that I share in the world. So a few things. I did just offer a free Clear Your Channel Mastermind. It was so much fun. I had a blast with everyone that showed up, and whoever's in the replay, I know that you are there divinely. And what I'm sharing with you today is actually a part of that mastermind. So if it's resonating with you, click the link below in the show notes, because I'm going to leave that mastermind up for you to access for a while. So definitely check that out. But that being said, I am about to do a second live iteration of my signature program, Awaken Your Life Force digital course. And y'all, this is an accumulation of my lifetimes as a healer. I am bringing in so many different modalities so that we can have a true, full, holistic, and integrative experience, because we are nothing if we're not wildly dynamic. Okay. So you're going to find out as I talk a little bit further today about how every part of our lives contributes to the whole of who we are. And in this course, I go through 6 live modules. I have all of my advanced meditations as bonuses, a meditation challenge that I can promise you, pinky swear promise you, your life will change when you make the commitment to do it. And I always give tons of extra Q&A time, live chat bonuses, because it is so important to me for you to feel fully held through this experience. I'm one of the only people that I know of that is sharing this level of cellular recoding and transformation online. And also, I go further with my intimate and advanced retreats. I have one coming up in Mexico in January, and this is next level. It will take you quantum in your astral travel, in your cosmic connection, in your psychic strengthening, in your trauma transformation, in your full multidimensional ascension here and now. You will be changed. Now, if you want to kind of dip your toe in, come to the digital course. Right now, I have such a special. I'm leaving launch price up, which is $150 off for the course. And for the first 10 registrants, I'm offering a complimentary intuitive reading with me. And this is an amazing stepping off point. So let me know if you have questions. Definitely hit me up. I'm also available to do a 10-minute phone call about the retreat and or the digital course. If your cells are perking up, if you're like, you know that your life will change, you know that you're ready to next level this evolution, like, let's talk. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's get on to the show today. Like I said, we're going to talk about innate human truths, and this was part of the Clear Your Channel Mastermind, where I shared intentional practices that I have engaged in that have opened up my astral channel and actually created a very divine connection with the Pleiadians over the last couple of years. I've always had a deep psychic connection and strength, and now continues to get more clear, more powerful than I ever could have imagined was possible in this human iteration in this body. So I am here to share it all with you, because this is the co-creation that will take us into the full potential of the golden age for reals. Okay, so let's chat about some of the innate truths of being human. First of all, we are ritualistic beings. We are creating ritual all day long, every day, right? But the difference is it a ritual or is it a habit? It's super easy for us to be in habits. It takes intention, accountability, and passion, quite honestly, to be in full intentional response throughout our day, which signifies the ritual and ceremony that we were meant to live in and thrive from. I had a deep download once as I was chatting with somebody that was interviewing me for a podcast about social media. And I was talking about how important it is to disconnect electronically, to get back to your truth, your cells, your knowledge, your wisdom, to be in your nature, to be in nature so that you can feel what is inherently you, right? The energy, the fluctuations, the soul, the light. And she started coddling the audience and talking about, well, maybe just get off of one app at a time, really kind of tiptoe into it and don't overwhelm yourself with it. And I thought in those moments, as I felt into that energy, I was like, why is it so easy for us to do unhealthy things all day long? But why does it take so much effort for us to powerfully choose what's healthy and what connects us to our innate wisdom and source energy? And as I felt into that, it came to me that the reason it's easier to tap into what's unhealthy is because that is the dominant narrative. We are feeling energy. We're feeling the frequency around us all of the time. And if the majority of humans on the planet are doing one thing together, so getting online, being on social media, we feel that. We don't even have to see it. We feel the frequency of it and we easily slide in to that energy. It's kind of a no-brainer. It's like, imagining this energy that's just all around you and you just connect in. So imagine if we were raised where everyone was outside for a certain period of the day, meditating, being in nature without anything else. And the whole planet was doing that. I mean, we can go back to the Great Reset when COVID went down, when the whole world pretty much shut down at the same time. You felt the frequency. I remember how powerful it was to tap in to the energy in those moments, because before the fear really kind of got its hooks into people, before the media started a new narrative and a new message for everyone, there was a camaraderie. There was a hopefulness. There was a care. There was a love that vibrated through this planet. So if we got raised in that frequency of meditation being so normalized that it would be wild to not wake up and do it every day, it wouldn't take effort. So you see what I'm saying? We move with what has been normalized. And if you look at the stream of consciousness around us, you find out what has been normalized in our cells, in our subconscious, even below our conscious thoughts through years, if not lifetimes and generations. So, what kind of ritual are you engaging in every day? Because if it's without intention, it's going to be the dominant narrative. It's going to be the dominant message that's all around. It's going to be the stream of consciousness that you are tapping into through your energy. But if you are present, if you are aware of how your belief systems are being formed, then you create the ceremony and ritual where we actually thrive. It's where we find that joy in the human experience, the internal gratification, where we don't need things or validation to feel the elevation and the alignment in our life. That's the sweet spot. right? And so on those coattails, I'm going to say the next innate human truth is we're absorptive beings in the same frequency of the ritualistic beings. Whatever your stream of consciousness is, you're going to absorb. Whatever's around you, you're going to absorb all day long, all night long, all the time. We never stop absorbing, either on a conscious level and or a subconscious level. So if you are not intentionally creating your reality, which eventually becomes your belief systems, which is where you live your life from, the dominant narrative, which is polarization of people, sensationalism, scarcity selling, comparison, lack, ageism, the construct of time, those messages and manipulations will create your reality for you, because we never, as I've said, we never stop absorbing. So let's move into evolution. We are here to evolve. It's one of our superpowers. We're made to change and grow. And unfortunately, a lot of us have gotten this message that we're finite, right? Like, oh, we are who we are. That's who I am. That's my personality. So accept it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's like, no, we're here for the deaths and rebirths. We're here to be a part of this intensity. We're here to adapt and pivot and be the change. So remember that you're made to grow in yourself, in your relationships, in your soul's purpose and mission, in your communities, in your families, in your experiences, which can include your vocation, your location, right? And so when you get into that full trust of the evolution, of the impermanence of everything, it's so much easier to be in the availability of what's to come, in the adaptability of being human. And I think we all got a big awakening in that when we went through such unbelievable change in an instant with the whole collective. You know, it's like, do you move into creation energy from there, or do you move into resistance? And we can look at society as a whole, right? And many of the messages moved into resistance, into fear, into conquer and dominate. And that is absolutely not the creation energy and the creators and the imaginators and the history makers that we came to be. So one of my favorite questions that I share with all of my students and all of my community is, no matter what throughout your day, if you're feeling stuck, right, there's the answer. But always check with yourself and say, am I in resistance or flow? Be intentional, get present, and check in. And if you're feeling a resistance in a life's path, a decision, an experience, a communication, a relationship, then that is your indicator to change the energy, to be the creator, to get into your imagination. That's why I love this Leo season that we're moving into now, after going so deep into our Cancerian energies, right? Into our emotionality, into our feelings, into the depths of what we can and are ready to transform. In this Leo season, it brings back up this resurgence of our child, of the inner child within us all, which really is the buoyancy that we're looking for in life. The resiliency of a child is what we want to be creating from as an adult. So I am here for it, Leo. Thank you for coming on in right when we need you. Another innate truth is our sensory navigation system. I like to think of this as our internal antenna, right? Like, we have source energy and universal energy, life force, creation energy moving through us that is always trying to guide us through our innate knowledge, through our inherent truth, through our intuition. That is our biggest superpower in this life. And we have learned through linear systems to take our control in thinking mind and override that system time and time and time again. Every institutionalized system has taught us to override our intuition and move into fear states of thinking and control. So when we can tap back in to that internal and inherent guidance, we get taken places in quantum ways for pivoting, for changing, for shifting. This is why I love failure. I just had somebody this morning, I was on an email list, and they were talking about if you don't do these things, then you're going to experience burnout and then you're going to fail. And I unsubscribed immediately. I'm not here and I'm not available for that kind of language. I'm not available for any energy that tells me I'm going to fail in that frequency, because in my frequency of failure, it is a beautiful pivot. It is incoming information. It's an easier access point to where we're going, because it gives us guidance that where the path that we're on is not the right path. Something is not in alignment in that energy. So it gives us the ability to find a new frequency for aligned action that's going to take us to the higher timeline, the vision, the dream that we're holding sacred, while we allow the journey to unfold in spiral dimensions, beautiful new possibilities. All right, another innate truth is trauma. It's inherently human. I don't know that I have ever heard of any human that has not experienced some kind of wounding, karma, emotionality, and trauma in their lifetime. So if we start to understand that our superpower is our ability to feel and have emotion, and when we can open up to the flow and feeling, we actually create deep healing, which leads to aligned growth, which moves us toward our innate medicine and the healer that we came here to be. These are the messages that we came to share with the world. Our unique unfolding path, which includes shadow, trauma, growth, wounds, lineage healing. There's so much goodness within the intensity, within the growth. And when we can reframe and transform the fear of feeling and allow for ourselves to live in the energetic flow of life so that we can go internal during those times for the excavation and then come out and reconnect, reemerge, and go external for the building momentum that comes from the integration of the growth. It's a really beautiful cycle, and it's a cycle. We get higher on it. You know, the more time that passes, the more wisdom that we get with the oncoming experience, the easier it becomes. That's why I love timelessness. I love getting more inquisitive and curious about the lessons and ultimate ascension as a human in an infinite light body throughout this experience. It's really profound. It's really exquisite. And it really does come from our root in the honor of our humanness. And it feels like a big path towards the shedding of fear frequency and the shedding of programming, mindsets, belief systems, and ultimately the traumas that we experience in order to be in higher and higher enlightened states. But as we do that, we emanate that ability from the energy that we shed in that growth. We emanate that out to others in the collective, to the youth of the world, so that it becomes an evolution. It becomes a part of their DNA to be in higher frequencies from the get-go, to be in bigger states of intimacy, vulnerability, and authenticity with what it innately means to be human. And the last one I'm going to say is it is innately human to move. These physical bodies, these vehicles for our soul and spirit, these conduits to source energy, alignment, and higher dimensions need to move. It's like, how can I put this? The fuel for the body is movement, like the movement for the car is fuel. So I cannot stress enough the importance of an embodiment of our cells, of our tissue, of the integration that happens in those spaces. As a cellular recoding and embodiment guide, I have so much more to share here, but I am going to wrap this up in the podcast for now. And if you would like to go deeper in this exploration, I encourage you to sign up for my free Clear Your Channel Mastermind in the link below in the show notes. And I definitely encourage you to check out my live upcoming iteration of Awaken Your Life Force digital course and or the intimate advanced experience of Awaken Your Fire Mexico retreat. And if you're listening to this in real time, definitely tune in this week. I'm going to have a big Leo new moon card read and channeled message coming through. And I am quite certain I will be holding a free Lionsgate portal event on August 8th. So tune in for that. Of course, just head on over to my Instagram or my website and you'll find everything we've talked about so far and more there. I am sending you so much love and care for this Leo fire that's coming on and for whatever astrology is co-creating with us at the time that you drop into these messages for your highest and unfolding good and for your part that you are continually sharing with this collective. I do hope that some message in this time together has perked up your cells for the excitement and the possibilities of all the ways that we are limitless and making history at this time together. Until next time, don't forget to look up.